Right, one character down and just 3 more to go. Certainly a more manageable number than the 16 we had to deal with in the base game, though unfortunately, there's going to be even more when we get to Samurai Warriors 2. So, Imagawa's personality here is that he's someone who plays around with a ball? Can't help feeling, though, that's somehow more respectful characterization than, say, when we ended up seeing from Masamune in the base game. And considering the first battle is the one this character actually died in, they have the freedom to give him any kind of fantasy progression they could possibly want, even a silly one. Excuse me for not knowing about the rules of Kimari, or caring enough to give a shit, though, sir. Right, let's just fast forward through the battle preparation bit. You know, the player-made character from the base game starts with this mission on the Imagawa side as well. Though, after essentially winning the battle for the Imagawa, the original character then turns around and just kills Yoshimoto anyway due to annoyance at how poor a leader the guy is. Really, the main thing with the original character was that he or she could have chosen 2 sides in the Tokugawa-Sanada rivalry, either fighting alongside Yukimura or Hanzo at the end. Technically speaking, not a terrible idea, but considering how many campaigns had reused various maps over and over again, I just didn't feel keeping that particular campaign was worth the annoyance of trying to comment over it. At least in terms of bothering to comment on it after we've already gone through so many missions that were essentially rehashes over the course of a very long game. Hell, I'm pretty damn tempted to fast forward through this take of this mission, since at the very least, it seems to be starting off the same way as it did in the main game, line for line. The cutscene just before it seemed promising enough, though, so, we'll still give it a bit of a shot. Okay, so Yoshimoto's attacks aren't anything worth writing home about. We'd probably actually see him use the ball that's supposed to be central to his new characterization if I hit triangle instead of constantly hitting square for attacks. But I'm the kind of guy who prefers mundane but solid over anything flashy. And the attacks that happen when we hit triangle in this series are typically flashy and at times hard for me to actually hit what I'm aiming. Besides, what we've been doing seems to have been working pretty effectively for now. You do realize this version of Yoshimoto isn't actually at the camp, right? I'm sorry, but I was under the impression that it was No's father, the former head of the Saito clan, who had the distinction of being called the Viper. Sure, she could personally be taking that title for herself. That would make some sense to some degree, but the way she worded it just gave me the impression she felt Nobunaga is the snake here. And while Nobunaga is many things, I don't think snake is really the best description for him. He is just way too, shall we say, right in your face. Pretty sure that was another mistranslation. You'd think a game that allows you to listen to dialogue that's not in your native language would do more to make sure the subtitles were accurately done. But, again, when we get to Samurai Warriors 2, we're not going to have the option to hear Japanese voice actors. It's just going to be the English cast. Anyway, I think I'll do a good deal more fast-forwarding here, since this mission hasn't actually been throwing all that much that's particularly interesting compared to the other versions of this same mission from the main game. Hell, Nobunaga doesn't even seem to have anything interesting to say to this man that he historically kills in this battle. That's supposed to be the start of his career. Granted, he seems to be doing more damage to us than anyone else we've come across before, but that doesn't really make it interesting enough for me to slow the footage down. Okay, so now we have to take down Hanzo, when Ieyasu is supposed to still be on our side. Not that I'm against Ieyasu deciding to cut ties with the bumbling version of Yoshimoto that we see in the Samurai Warrior series, just that he's a little late to do so, since we've already beaten Nobunaga. Of course, it also took a while for Nobunaga's defeat to register in this mission, so maybe he gets a pass? Oh, bullshit! There is no great plan here. It's just another case of the game designers deciding to get lazy as a way to give us more missions. I was hoping that the expansion wouldn't be that outright lazy considering what we saw in the previous campaign. Anyway, sounds like the music has changed to what will be Tadakatsu's personal theme for the rest of the series. Not that he's quite dangerous enough for that to become the shit-your-pants theme of the series, just yet. Okay, so just after a verbal trade of toys, we just beat her down like anybody else. Anyone want to bet how long it'll be before Nobunaga comes back to the battlefield? Huh. Well, it's not a historical fact that Tadakatsu killed Naomori Lee in this battle. It is a fact that that officer died here. For a moment I thought someone had made a mistake, but I apparently confused Naomori for Naomasa, his grandson, who would become a commander in Ieyasu's army. Let that sink in for a moment. Ieyasu lived for so long that the grandson of someone who died during one of his earliest battles became known as one of his 4 greatest generals. Not that the Samurai Warrior series actually gave that grandson a spot as anything more than a non-generic officer. No, in Samurai Warriors 4, they make Naotora Lee, the daughter of Naomori and the mother of Naomasa, the distinct character there. Bit of a funny choice, but unfortunately, I have no plans to LP Samurai Warriors 4. In that game, they decided to do away with individual character campaigns and just shoved a bunch of characters into their respective clans, taking the story from there. Not a horrifically bad choice, considering the size of the cast by that point, but unfortunately, that meant that most, if not all, of the cast members from previous games end up getting less than the newbies in the only story of that clan you could go through. Well, the fact that I didn't LP all the content from the original Samurai Wars shows that sometimes individual campaigns can just not be worth it due to the laziness of the game designers to just keep throwing content out there. At least it's a chance for both old and new characters to have moments to shine in a given installment. I know, we'd still have to go through Samurai Warriors 2 and 3 to get to 4 anyway, and we're still working on the expansion of the first game. That's just the direction my thoughts ended up going in when I saw who Tadakatsu had killed there. Anyway, Ieyasu, time to take a beating for betraying your not-dead-yet lord. And I'm assuming at some point Nobunaga will return here. I didn't see him get an exit cutscene after all. Right. Of course the Oda army reappeared in the same spot we already cleared. Excuse me for being less than impressed at the way the Demon Lord is trying to salvage this already lost battle. Of course, if he doesn't win at OK Hazama, then he doesn't rise high enough to be known as the Demon Lord. We'll see just how creative they are with Yoshi Moto's joke of a campaign here. Well, I'm sorry, Nobunaga, but the guy who most likes to preach about chaos isn't going to appear until Samurai Warriors 2. I'm not even sure you get any opportunities to kick at him when he pops out. And of course that didn't kill him, so yes, it doesn't look like this battle actually meant anything. Definitely not a good sign for this campaign. You do realize there's more lords out there to stop you from taking the capital than just Nobunaga, right?